How's everybody doing? Thank you for tuning in to Garage Talk All Sports. It's me and my pops. I'm Son. This is Pops. I'm going to be the new school.
I'm old school, everybody. What's up?
Okay, man. This is first episode. We're super excited. It's been a lot of work, guys. Been a lot of coming together. Butting heads, that's what we're going to do on the show, but a lot of love, too. And we came here to just bring it to you guys. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. Really what we're here to do is bring you all sports from a fan's perspective. Obviously, see the Denver background. We're from Denver. So, yes, you're going to get a lot of Denver perspective. And if you're from Denver, you'll love to hear what we have to say because we're just going to give it to you from a real fan's perspective.
Yep, welcome to the show.
But, I mean, with that being said, first episode, it's going to be about sports, right? But just before we kind of dive into everything and give you guys a full-blown blast of everything, Pops, just can you kind of bring us into what we're going to be giving to these people? Why should they be tuned into us? Come on.
You know, I think it's just real talk. You know, we're not paid analysts where you hear the rhetoric. We're going to talk about things that I think that are relevant. We'll talk about things that they can't talk about.
Right.
We're going to talk about, of course, the local teams, and we're also going to deep dive into some of the national teams and things that we're passionate about. Me, you knew me in the Clippers. I'm not a Clippers person, but you know. They're squared away. They're a great squad. You know, they know what they're doing. But, you know, we'll talk about that. And that's why people should really join in.
Right.
Because we're going to talk about things that others are not able to talk about.
Understood. So just before we start, you know, preaching the gospel, giving everyone the good word, if you will, just joking around people. But really, though, before we dive into everything, and before we get too much into sports, is there any words just kind of you want to tell our viewers? Just, hey, here's a little bit about us. I know we kind of let them know I'm running new school, you're old school. We love sports. This is what we want to bring. But anything you would like to say from Garage Talk. This is here. Me and you, we're talking to our viewers live here. First episode. Let them have anything that you would like to give just before we get into all of our segments and segues.
You know, I think we said everything. I'm kind of at a loss. You know, I appreciate everybody. I think they're going to have fun. They're going to enjoy it.
Right.
I'm passionate. I'm very passionate. Yeah. There's times I'm going to walk off set and go get me some coffee because you piss me off a lot.
So coffee for him is like shacking that one commercial. Means no.
No, exactly.
You know, if he says he's going to get some coffee, that means I won the conversation, by the way. No, I'm joking. No, it means Pops needs to take a little moment to do Pops. All right. No, that aside, and for real, we're here to bring you sports. We kind of have hit it with the nail in the button head, but it's not always going to be like this, guys. So we're going to bring you sports, but before we just dive into it, this is episode 1. I'm going to be directing everyone to this if you've not seen this before, just so you can kind of get a background and feel about us. We're unscripted. It's Garage Talk.
Yep.
But before I just dive into it, I will give you guys one thing I just want to say to everyone who's tuned in and going to be tuning in. So, I mean, just get it started. All Garage Talk viewers, super excited to have all of you. Welcome. Thank you all for tuning in because we're here for you guys, and we could sit here and talk back and forth all day, but we're really here for you guys, and we really want you guys all to tune in, and we're going to give you different methods here to soon to be involved. With that being said, first of all, with this show being started, I'm going to thank God for the opportunity to bring you guys all the joy of sports, because that's really what we're doing this for, and it's with His blessings. That being said, second, thank you to every viewer watching now and every future viewer who doesn't even know they're going to be watching or who's going to be tuned in. Maybe you're just dabbing in. Thank you for coming into this show on this channel so that way you can go ahead and get the sports because what we're going to do is bring you the best of what we can. The thought of even making this show stemmed from the passion of sports and being able to share it with you guys in the best fashion is what we're going to go ahead and intend to do. So many Garage Talk conversations and just passion is what led to this moment as far as us coming here. You're going to be happy. You're going to be mad. It's a place for us to vent, be frustrated, and do whatever we have to do, post-game, pre-game, just in the sports world, period. So we're going to give you our best perspective. It will be a journey for all viewers to all tune in. And again, we want to really incorporate you guys. So
we want to welcome everybody.
So we're here.
Everybody.
Denver, great. Non-Denver, great. We need you too because then you bring in that perspective. So with that being said, you know, I'm not going to talk your grill off. We came here for some good sports, and we're going to jump straight into it. So let's go into the NBA.
I do want to say something, though. We're not trying to disenfranchise our NASCAR brothers. You know, we just don't know enough about it. That's not kind of what
all
we
sports.
do.
Hey, if I see a topic, like, for instance, when they had
they just had the Indy just ran it,
right there. So If you guys
Some
follow
golf,
the place,
a whole bit. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm not here to discriminate against anything. There's a lot of sports to be talked about.
Yep.
There's a lot to go over.
Yep.
There's a lot for us to have fun with.
Yep.
So if the sport is relevant, if you guys are there, and if you're bringing it, we're gonna bring it to you just as well.
Yep.
And with that being said, we're gonna jump straight into it.
So
So
we're going to NBA.
NBA.
We're going to
Let's
NBA.
go
All right, let's go
into
NBA.
NBA.
All right, let's ready. I'm ready for this one.
All right, so we're starting with the NBA. We're gonna kind of recap everything for you guys. Let's keep it fair.
Let's bring up the bracket.
But as far as what we're gonna do, let's start with the Nuggets. Last night we played Portland. Okay,
Didn't go so well.
it didn't go so well.
We're good. We're good.
Series right now is 2-2. Last night's game, 95-115, Portland wins. We basically kind of got thumped a little bit. Before we dive, hold on, save it, because before we dive into it, I just kind of want to bring you up to speed. And you're pretty much up to speed, but even some of the viewers, if you didn't get a chance to watch the game, just a quick recap. Jokic goes for 16 points, 9 rebounds. What's crazy is 1 assist. Okay, Michael Porter Jr. 3 points. Okay, Gordon 6 points. Okay, here's what's kind of been the highlight of our deal is Campazzo. He's not really lost his composure. Composure, that's my man. Joking. No, but he had 12 points, 7 assists. So he definitely had an okay night. Like, he didn't put up a stud. He did his part. And then shot 34% from the field, 29 from 3-point. Lillard puts up 10 points. We still lose somehow. And then Norman Powell goes for 29 points. So it's just kind of a mush of everything. Malone tore into the team. He was not feeling that.
Yep.
He was not feeling that at all.
Yep.
Just kind of from what you saw and from hearing the initial numbers, what's your take?
All right. I think that Portland is in trouble. I'm going to just say it. How so? They're playing our B team.
Okay.
You don't have Grant. Jamal's out. You don't have Barton. You know, you said Jokic had 1 assist.
Jokic had 1 assist.
You know, the chemistry, you know, Gordon, I don't know. He's new to us. You know, those guys who were in the bubble last year, it's not the same squad. I do believe in this Denver squad that's here. Porter has got to step up. I don't know if the stage is too big for that young man. He is a darn good ball player, or they're still trying to figure it out at the wrong time. But I'm disappointed in Portland, if you will. The game they played in Game 4 should have been the way 1, 2, and 3 should have been played because they're healthy.
Right.
You know, and they know each other. That chemistry is already developed and formed, and Lillard and CJ and others, Nurkic, they're doing their job. So this Denver squad should have been blown out or near close to it by now. So that's why I'm saying that Portland is done.
Oh.
The Nuggets are going to figure it out. The first 4 games, everybody's kind of jockeying for position.
Right.
And typically, it should come out 2-2. And if it were the real Nuggets, we would be 3-1 by now.
Yeah,
all right?
I
So
agree.
that's my perspective. So now, 5, 6, and 7, you've heard me say this 100 times. That's really where the playoffs starts. Or, you know, once you kind of determine what's the first 4 games.
Okay.
I think that Denver's probably going to win or lose 5. And then 6 and 7 is where we're going to take the series. And we'll be in Portland. I do not believe we're going to put them away in Denver, meaning winning 5 and 6. I think we'll win Game 7. I expect them to come out. We'll probably win 5, but I think we're going to lose 5 and we'll win 6 and 7. That's how that series is going to end.
Hold on, wait. One more time. Run it back so that we're all clear. You think we'll win or lose 5? Run it for me one more time as far as this
It can go either way. I believe that it will either win 5. I don't want it to be Portland trying to win Game 7 in Portland. So I think Denver's going to win Game 7 in Portland. I hate that it's going to go to a Game 7. We did that last year, and that is exhaustive.
So,
you know, go ahead.
The game, for me, I like that Malone is willing to talk to his team. Really, from what I would say is our perspective. Like,
He cussed them out.
He told them they were scared. He told them
cussed them out.
Moment. He said that the starters played awful, and that's kind of what it was. And then hold on, just Yes, I understand that we're hurt. Yes, I understand we're playing your quote unquote B team. That's understood. But at the end of the day, because we're playing, well, if you want to call it B team, I call it C team, whatever. That doesn't mean we have to play B team basketball or C team basketball. There is a such thing as playing up to your standards.
Exactly. Coach was clear in saying, if I have to tell you to have energy and anger and be pissed off, we're at the wrong team. He should not have to tell the Nuggets to play like that right now. He
doesn't. Okay, but that's all understood. But what I'm saying is just from a recap from the game. The players have to understand that this is the time, this is the moment. It's not the regular season, and that we missed one right there. Okay, now the series is 2-2, and now we have to play the game that you just went out and went ahead and 5 and 6 and a 7 and blah blah blah, and that we potentially beat them in Portland in 7 with an injured team. And I'm not going that route. And it's too hard to go back. We lost the game, but we missed one right there. So now for the next 2 games, and I would like to nail them in 6, because for the next 2 games you have to bring every bit of what you should have brought in Game 5 to sew this up already.
No, in Game
4. I'm sorry. So that way in Game 5. You could have sold us up, and you maybe had the leisure of one more. But we're not. For one, we no longer have that leisure. 2, we don't have the injuries to allow us to do that. And 3, I refuse to say that a Game 7 is where we're going to win that in Portland against Damian Lillard, who they call Dame Time. That's just not the route I want to go. And we can go back and forth on that.
I'm not arguing that point. What I'm arguing is that Game 4 should have been played the same way the Game 3 was. This series should now be 3-1. That's my argument with this. And that's why I'm angry. And Coach said it very eloquently. I should not have to tell you guys to be angry or pick up the energy. This is playoff basketball. You were in the bubble. You understood. And that's where I'm going back to the Gordon and the Porter. I like that kid Rivers. I mean, he wasn't even playing. And he's here. And he stepped up in Game 3. He had 5 threes. We need that. And with Jokic, Gordon, somebody needs to understand, like, let's say after the game, in my horrible Jokic language, guys, you need to listen to me. Watch my tendencies.
True.
That's why he's saying pick and rolls or whatever. Jokic is not a dunker. He's been dunking. He's doing all the things that he needs to do to try to help us get to the next round. And with that, segue into the next round.
I mean, at the end of the day, the Nuggets just have to find a way to get it done. We can go back and forth, injuries and how they should play around Jokic. I think we still have the pieces, especially when you made a point that Portland's not even playing the way they should be playing to put us away.
They're not.
The door's open. Go ahead and push it open and take the series. That being said, let's move on to the rest of the NBA because we've got to keep it fair. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just recap where the series are at for each series. After that, if you feel like you want to take any hot take on the series, fine. But I'm just going to want to roll into what you think each series will end at. And honestly, one series is over, so we'll get into that. But 76ers and the Wizards. 76ers are up on the Wizards 3-0. So I'm going to take what I think is a better team and an easy pick. We'll take the 76ers.
Yeah,
Agreed.
we're done with that.
We're done with that.
On. Next.
So Hawks, Knicks. I thought would be a lot more interesting. I was really hoping we could get you guys a game, day 1 on the Garage Talk All Sports a little bit earlier leading into the playoffs. But here we are. Such is life. Here's the Hawks are already up 3-1.
Yep.
I don't know if I would have took that at the beginning of the series, but that's where we're at. So I'm going to take the Hawks.
They gave me energy with all the other stuff
playing.
that was, distractions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I expect the Hawks to come out of that one.
Me too. And the one thing that I don't know if you've had a chance to watch, but Julius Randle is kind of like a Michael Porter Jr. He's not really showing up the way that he was, and they were calling him most improved player.
Agreed.
So that hurts New York. New York. Moving on because we're both taking the Hawks. Bucks versus the Heat. So that was a series I said it's done.
Easy. Yeah.
It's to be debated at this point.
It's done.
They swept them out. Again, going into it, I probably would not have called a sweep. I would have took Milwaukee. I would have not called it a sweep, though, against Miami. But that's what happened. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I do. And I think this is going to be profound. Viewers, listen to me.
Okay.
I'm taking Milwaukee to go all the way.
He did say that. He mentioned
even over Brooklyn.
Yes,
I'm taking Milwaukee.
So that
to
was
go
a
all
caveat.
the way.
That was a caveat I wanted to tell him is that he's taking Milwaukee over Brooklyn. I'll still hold to what I said not too long ago. I'm still sticking to it, especially now that the big 3 are on the court. If Brooklyn doesn't not just go, if Brooklyn doesn't win, I'm calling it a bust. And you'll be lucky if you get that big three back next year, in my opinion. I don't know how this could be ignorance. I don't know how the contracts are set up. I'm not going to pretend to say I do. But what I'm going to say is to keep those three together for another solid year after they will it together this year through injuries. Good luck.
Okay.
So you guys have to win this year.
Brooklyn. But that's a caveat. You just said that's a caveat. Durant was hurt. He came back. Bearded man was hurt. I'm just joking.
The beard, Harden, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He's back.
Right.
So, like the Nuggets, the chemistry, they got the talent. They're there. So, anyway, I take Milwaukee. Go ahead.
Well, Milwaukee. So he's taking Milwaukee. So moving on, Nets Celtics, which is kind of what we just talked on. We think that the Nets are going.
That's easy. Yeah.
So we just kind of talked about that. I'm kind of taking the Nets out the West. They should be taking it all.
Out of the East,
he's taking Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Moving on to the West, where it gets a little bit more interesting for us, but it is what it is.
It is.
Jazz versus Grizzly. We kind of talked about this leading up. You guys kind of missed the back talk, but we're bringing into the garage talk. Like, I've been telling people you can't sleep on the Grizzlies. You can't sleep on Memphis.
I agree.
You got to be careful.
Yep, I agree.
Especially Utah.
Yep.
And if Donovan Mitchell's on this mission he thinks he's on, he needs to put them away.
What mission?
Well, he lost in Game 7 to us, and
so he's pissed off because of the bubble.
He's not. You can call it the bubble. You can call it life.
What's the bubble?
No one's not putting respect on him. For instance, if you look at the interview where Shaq said, "You're great, but you're just not enough to get the team over the hump." He's got a lot of reasons to be mad. So for whatever reason you want to take it, I'm still. Let's just call it serious. I take Jazz over Grizzlies. Don't sleep on Memphis, or else you will be going home.
They slept on them Game 1.
Yes,
Grizz took that game, and then they woke up and said, "Okay, we need to play." I'll take the Suns. I'll take Utah. I'll take Utah.
Understood. Next one.
Wait. Utah and what? What's the count right now?
It's 2-1. So if you really want to go deep into it, fine, let's do it. Where's
the next game at? Do we have that?
We can pull it up.
What's the next game?
Jazz. Yeah.
It's probably in Memphis.
Either way, I'm taking Utah.
In Memphis.
I'm gonna take Utah, but they need it, especially with Donovan. And to be fair, Donovan didn't play in Game 1. Donovan Mitchell did not play in Game 1. I will be fair to Utah fans out there who's probably saying that.
So are you saying that if something happens to Donovan, Utah is done?
Well, that's aside. I don't want to assume that, but what I'm saying is that they didn't have him Game 1, and with him being there for the remainder of the games, I take Utah in that series.
Okay. I'm not dissing the bro.
So,
I think he's a darn good ball player.
Let's move to your favorite team.
Okay, what's up?
No, I'm joking. Pops loves the Clippers. Mavs Clippers series is 2-1. Mavs have been showing up. Clippers showed up last game, said we're not going to be swept. What do you got?
All right. I keep reverting back to this. Michael Malone, coach of the Denver Nuggets, said, if we have to tell you in the playoffs to have energy, anger, those type of things, you don't deserve to be here. And I think Dallas is clearly exhibiting those attributes.
Right.
They are playing lights out. It isn't we're just glad to be here. Those guys want to win.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take what's the count?
So it's 2-1. Mavs up, and the Clippers got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I know that the mainstream media likes the Clippers. They want to see this LA, Clipper thing, Lakers Clippers thing. But no offense. I mean, Clippers, you're a great squad. LA, I'm not knocking you guys. I have a lot of affinity for my 80s Lakers, be it the Kings on the hockey side or the Lakers in the NBA side. But I don't know what's missing with this Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
I'll tell you.
It is not what I think is good must-see TV. And I'm not enthralled. I think it's a good way to express that.
Okay.
I'm trying to be respectful because that's not what I really want to say.
Right.
But
I'll tell you.
I'm going to take Dallas.
But I'm going to hold on. I'm going to hold on to it. Let's hold on to that one. Because I want to dig a lot deeper into that.
Okay.
Okay. Kind of when we get into one of our next segments. Because,
what's up next?
Boy, the Clippers will have some answering to do if they lose that series, and I'm not playing about that.
I agree. And I hope you go where I think you're going to go on them. Because,
the Clippers.
But we'll get there.
If anybody they'll need an answer to me because I'm not. I'm not letting that slide.
Okay, who's up next?
Either way, we already
Denver,
talked about. We talked about Denver, Portland. We need to find a
I'm gonna
way
give
to get out of that game.
I'm still Denver.
I'm still.
And it's
Denver
not
too.
because I'm hometown favorite, but I'd be very disappointed. And we could have a caveat or an asterisk next to
we're
this
not gonna
season,
do that.
and that everybody was hurt. If Burton
could.
and Jamal was there, we'd already be done.
But why?
We'd be at home waiting for the Lakers Suns.
That's if and bust if Candy and Nuts. We're not. But at this point, we need to
All right,
find
let's
a way.
move up. So we're 2-2. I'm gonna take the Nuggets.
I take Nuggets.
All right.
And then what he said was his favorite series. I'm thinking there's a lot of good series out there. I'm not going to pick one.
Yeah.
What he said was his favorite series.
think there's 3 good series out there.
Was Lakers versus Suns. Series is 2-2. It's tied up. Suns found a way to get it done, I believe, last game. So I mean, it's
Let's see.
it's anyone's series at this point, in my opinion. But
we got?
197 Suns put down the Lakers to tie it up at
Yep.
2-2.
192.
And then,
Yep.
You know what? Let me just kind of take this one first because
Go
I
ahead.
want to go back to what we talked about a few days ago, right? And this is what I still feel steadfast on. Only in that they're saying there's a lingering injury for AD, which we kind of knew that coming into this series. So I'm not going to treat that as new news. Or for LeBron, if he says he's not 100, if he will lose the series and he says it then, I don't even want to hear it. But what I will say is this, is that the Lakers should win this series if Chris Paul continues to deal with his injury. Because a young Booker and Ayton should quote unquote not be able to take down even a not 100% LeBron and AD when they're saying that you're dealing with one of, if not the best player still in the league, and then probably the best big man who, for much of the season, it was like, let's crown him until he got hurt, and then we're at where we're at now. Period. The Phoenix Suns are balling out. They really have no position.
Wait, where are you
they're
going? Are
balling.
you saying that?
So what I'm saying
Phoenix,
is that
or are you saying LA?
Phoenix should not win this series. LA should win this series, especially if Chris Paul is out with the injured surgery injured shoulder. If he's still, my bad, If he's still dealing with that shoulder injury, then scratch it. Shoulder. If he's still dealing with that shoulder injury, scratch it. Bottom line is this. If he's healthy, I say it's a 7-game series because the Lakers are not what they should be held wise.
Look,
I still take the Lakers out of the series.
Let me jump in
with Chris Paul.
Okay, that's fair. So he is getting some minutes, Chris Paul. He's getting some minutes. He's not 100%. I get it. And I was watching him the other night, and although he is not playing, he played like 20 minutes. He's still on the side,
Right.
leading the team. Okay, that team is hungry, and they're angry, and they have something to prove because I think they want to play Utah. Okay, hear me out. We just got news today that
Actually, they'll play us. Whoever wins that series plays us.
that's true because of the bracket. I'm sorry. So AD is, I won't say done. He's got a sprain growing. That is an injury like in the NFL. If you have turf toe, you can still play,
Okay.
but you're not 100% effective.
Right.
He cannot alley-oop. He can't do a lot of things that AD did last year in the
Shouldn't be doing.
bubble.
Couldn't do it. Okay.
So LeBron, he has the little ankle thing. These guys are professionals. They know how to play through all of that.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm at on this particular
Series.
series. Because it's the Lakers, but the Suns have just played so well. I think I'm gonna go Lakers. I think I'm gonna go. No, I know. I think I'm gonna go Lakers because they're coming. It'll be Denver playing Lakers Suns because we're in that bracket. And who would I like to? I'm pissed. I want to take on the Lakers, but I would like it to be. I want it to be Jamal, Burton. Everybody's there. Jokic.
Yes.
Everybody's doing the damn job.
That's why I made that face.
And I want to take on a healthy, good Lakers because I think we have something to prove. We can beat the Lakers.
Yes.
But in this particular time and space that we're in,
Okay.
you could almost, I wouldn't even say, I was going to say, you could almost flip a coin. The
I'll give you
fans
that.
might think
I'll give you
Suns. I just feel Lakers. Could it go Suns? Yeah. But you got to think, LeBron is not going to let that team, not do what they're supposed to do.
And I agree with you.
And right now, I think it's, like they're not wolves or savages, but I think that when you're out in that wilderness environment, when you become hurt, you're now vulnerable or susceptible to be devoured. And without CP3,
Oh,
Phoenix
they've
has
exposed
become,
a little wound.
yeah,
in the Rocky he
yeah,
bled. Okay,
yeah,
I'll give you that.
That's
I'll
kind
give
of
you that.
it's kind of that's why I'm
And I kind of like your flip a
wavering
coin
between
analogy.
yeah.
Because to be honest, I'm at that point too. I'm putting all these stipulations on who should take it depending on what. There's a lot that can go, but with that, I think we both take the Lakers. So and I'm comfortable with that. So leading on, I think we kind of led where we're at in the NBA so far. There's a lot to go. The playoffs are in round one.
It just started, yeah. It just started,
we
yeah.
still got a lot of fun with that,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you guys have your own opinion, and so we'll get you in there as well. But if we're wrong, hey, we're wrong. If we're right, though, let's put a pin in it. If we're wrong, let's put a pin in it,
Yep.
and let's come back to it.
Yeah, Denver needs to step it up.
Yeah.
Denver
We
needs to step it
do.
up.
So we can agree on that. Moving on, let's talk some NFL. Sound good?
Okay,
All right.
all right.
So as far as what the NFL goes, obviously it's the off season, so it's not like we're gonna jump into like any games, stats like that. But let's jump into where we can. And for a Bronco fan, it's for me anyways, and I think for you too, and a lot of Bronco fans, we're sensitive right now. The draft just passed somewhat recently, which is what we're gonna start with. Is the draft, your draft opinion, my draft opinion as far as what we feel. Just getting into it, with it starting up the draft. I'll let you know kind of why I'm sensitive to the whole draft situation, but you obviously saw who we took, and I don't know if you kind of looked into some of the later picks.
Yeah,
You know who we didn't get? I don't even need to say names. What's your yes, sir? What's your take on the draft?
I
Broncos.
like the draft overall, big picture, because I've been taught you take best man available.
Okay.
And having Patrick Surtain, I think he's going to ball out. I think that
Best man available.
yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, when it came to our draft. Okay, so let's just talk about the daggone 800-pound
Elephant in a room. All right, get out the way.
All right, fine. Let me open them. I want to give you the floor because I know you're a little bit more passionate about it than I am. What the hell is the game plan? I don't know. Are we going to keep? So obviously it's Drew Lock and Teddy. I don't know if we're hoping we're going to get Aaron Rodgers and all this
What's
stuff.
today's date? May 30th.
Yeah, tomorrow's Memorial Day.
June 1st is the big day.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll see.
And I don't even know which way that's going to
To be
swing.
debated.
We got lucky when we got Peyton, and so I don't want to go back there. I just want to understand what's the vision, what's the goal, because we'll support you. This city will support you if we understand what we're doing and what you're doing and what we need to get behind. Like some teams say we're going to tank. Back in the day when Cleveland said we're going to tank. Look what
Where they're
Cleveland
at now.
has
Right.
accomplished. What is the game plan? So let me stop there with all this. What is the game plan? All right. I thought the draft was
That popped
successful
right away.
in not knowing what is the game plan. Obviously, if I had to connect the dots, the game plan is we're going to go with Drew Lock or Teddy. One of those two are going to be our quarterback. If I had to choose between the two, I know Teddy is a little bit more polished. He's more established. He is a manager of a game. He's not risky. You know me. I don't like the win now thing. Now everybody's go ahead.
Just bring me back
'Cause I'm
to
just
the-
rambling.
Patrick, if you said the elephant in this room is this, that we didn't take Fields and we took
Because
Patrick.
I don't know what is the game plan. If I understood that everything is
so
still
you
on the
don't know
table,
what grade to put on that yet.
Then go after Fields. If obviously the quarterback scenario, they don't want to go down that road. I don't know what is the game plan. So Fields obviously, or a quarterback, take him out of the equation, was not a part of the equation or what we were going to do. And so they picked Patrick Surtain.
I don't look to your best guy on the board analogy. Fine, I'll go with that. If that's who you really felt was the best guy on the board, I'm really not going to even question that. What I will question, and I wrote down, I'm okay with the pick. Like, this guy can show up, and from the news I've gotten out of camp, he's really doing good.
I was
Just
gonna
let me
say,
finish.
go ahead.
He could be great. I don't care. Let me just get the point. The point is this: is that when you have a chance, legitimately, and I'm not saying the guy's going to be perfect because I can't play the prediction role, but when you have a chance, that's what I'm saying, a chance to reset your trajectory of your franchise who you expect greatness out of. We have had a drought of success quarterback play, and you have a chance to take Fields and even an opportunity to make that better. You need to take that 100%.
I agree.
I don't care if you think Locke is your person. You still take Fields because he's available for you to take for nothing. The pick is yours. You had to give nothing. You have the pick. Take the pick, okay? Let's not make that misunderstood. I'm very upset that they did not take Justin Fields. It would take a great deal of great play out of Drew Lock and then a great deal of play out of Surtain for me to really feel otherwise. And I say you still gambled because you're still saying that the work, and that's something I want to get into in just a second here. You're still saying that the work that Drew Lock put in, you feel confident ultimately that that's going to be enough to get it done. And that could be the case. But at this point, he's not really shown us that that is the case. And so I don't have enough to go on for you to pass on Justin Fields. It just hurts me. You know, and especially when you watch ESPN, it's just shown in our face every time. So with that, I'll best believe I'll be saving my notes and I'll be bringing this to you.
So
I will be watching
Chicago.
Oh, yeah, because after we passed, they made the moves to get that
they're
done.
like
They
they're
said,
stupid.
"What?"
They're stupid.
And so I'll be making note. I will be watching Justin Fields this year with the Eagle's eye, and I'll be watching Patrick Surtain with the Eagles' eye.
I love that. Okay. I think the way the defense in that receiving core, I know we don't have our quarterback situation solidified. So I'm going to just put a broad perspective out there. Drew Lock, he went through the Peyton Manning camp. So they said, Peyton, go talk to our boy. Help him out.
Right.
Remember before, last year, the narrative was he was playing video games. He wasn't taking this serious.
Okay.
And now he's had a chance to get some tutelage and some mentorship.
Right.
And he understands where he's at. We talked about that in our personal discussion about those who would just die to be in these men's position.
Right.
I think he now may have a better perspective. Okay, Patrick Surtain and the defense that we put together. I think this defense is going to ball out.
Yeah, that's what they're saying too.
I think this defense is going to ball out. So the Fields, I get it. Go with Drew Lock or go with Teddy. Teddy's a damn good game manager. He's got some experience, playing time. With that defense, we might be a 9-7, 10-16.
That takes
That's
us
a
into our
far
predictions. So take me through your predictions for the Broncos and then through the AFC West as our standings goes.
Well, of course, you're going to go Kansas.
Okay,
You know,
I agree.
And I don't want to just limit it to the AFC West because you only have Raiders and
But
San Diego
let's just keep
and
it
us.
clean and just
But-
for time's sakes.
All right.
AFC West and I agree with you. Kansas won.
All
So
right.
let's take
So
it
we're
from
done.
there because
Kansas.
really that's
Yeah.
really where
Kansas.
the toss up in air
Yeah,
is.
Kansas.
The remaining three though.
Oh, like in
In
order?
in order, yeah.
That's hard. Kansas, maybe Denver, San Diego,
Okay.
with Raiders on the bottom.
Then we're agreed there because I have Kansas up top. And like you said, it's kind of a toss up with Denver, depending on how we come out and play with our defense
Yeah.
and lock. And then
What's his
also
name?
you have
Hubert?
to look at Huber
Hubert.
and LA now.
Yeah.
And we have to be real with ourselves. You
Plus,
know,
they're more solidified. This kid played last year. So did Drew Lock, but no OTAs, that kind of stuff. I just think I like his style of play better for, I can't say San Diego, but for the LA Chargers.
Right.
And I don't know what's going on in Oakland.
So just a
The
couple.
Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
I know.
Being in Vegas, it was hard. It was just hard to explain. Even if you're a Raider fan, and if you're a diehard Oakland Raider fan, just go out to Vegas and tell me it's not just a little bit different. That aside, just before we switch
you were
out of
just
the
there a
NFL,
couple of
yeah,
days ago,
just
so
there.
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
really different. At first, I forgot why they're promoting it so hard, and I found out. Oh yeah, I forgot. You know, and then you see the big stadium, and it's like, oh yeah.
I don't even want to look at that
Yeah,
stadium.
but
we drove by the stadium.
that
like,
aside,
I don't even
I'll
look
let
at
you
the
guys do your
stadium.
thing.
Yeah,
You guys have a
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
stadium. Great. Before we get out of the NFL, just real quick, just a couple of things that I kind of thought were worth talking about. We had the Rodgers situation. We won't know what that comes out to until really June 1st if Green Bay is willing to hold their guns or make a move. So we really have to play the wait game with that. You guys have to wait with us because really that's all it is. ESPN swore they're going to get something out of that. Nothing happened. And I'm not just saying ESPN. Just like in general, like everyone thought there would be something more out of that. It never turned into any real fruit, and we'll see what it does, if any. But some things that I thought were worth mentioning this season coming up. The Bucks, a lot of people have them as a favorite to go back and back. You have Chicago with Fields, which we kind of tampered on.
They need time.
You have
they need time.
Miami, who's in that same division.
They need
with
time.
New England, who got the quarterback
They
in the
need
draft,
time.
and now it's second year Tua Tagovailoa. Okay, so I kind of want to see how
They need
that plays
time.
out. And then you have the whole Green Bay, Seattle, and all these Houston, where these quarterbacks. So, right, for instance, Houston.
Much of the same with those two teams. You just said that. Aaron's not really happy. So even if he stayed in Green Bay, it's just Mott's. It's much of the same. Even with Seattle, I don't see anything special coming out of there. I want to digress back to the AFC, not just the West.
Okay.
My three, I'm going to take Buffalo.
Okay.
And in no particular order.
Right.
I see Buffalo up there. And the team, I'm not a fan, but I'm a fan of football. I want to see what Cleveland's going
I
to
knew he was going to say Cleveland. I knew he was going to say that.
Because it's starting to come together.
You know who I? Yeah, it is.
And then my last one, of course, is Kansas.
Okay. You know what? And I like those. Because to be honest, I have no, like, as much as I would like to debate with you, I don't have any preferences against those.
We
what
didn't
I
say
would like,
Pittsburgh.
because I'm not going to say Pittsburgh.
Where are
I'm
they
not,
at?
I'm not hating on Pittsburgh.
Right.
But
I
you
got
guys
that.
went like this, and then y'all fell off the cliff, and we don't even know where y'all landed. So
Wait,
until y'all find out
they
where
had
y'all land.
They had a great season last year.
And then they fell off a cliff, and then we were like, we had to bring out searchers to go find those guys. And I don't think they found them yet.
Okay.
So until they
All
find
right.
them, I'm
That's
not
fair.
worried about that team. You know what's cool though is Julio's demanding his way to Atlanta, and I would love to see
you
Julio.
just totally flipped the script to the NFC.
No. AFC still. I want to see Julio go to the Bills. I'm not lying. I'm not. Look, if Julio goes to the
This
Bills,
dude can ball out. I see him in Seattle.
put Julio and Stephon
put him
on each
in
side
Chicago.
with no. Man wants to attack my integrity. Let's move on. You know what? We got some great
Wait, put him
NHL.
in Cincinnati.
Hold on, wait. Joe Burrow just got. They just went and just did whatever they wanted to do and took the top receiver in the draft. And so if you put him on that squad, that might just work out. You know,
Well,
but let's just go because he threw the Chicago thing out there, and I'm like, dude, come on, man. Denver fans, come on. But anyways, there's a good NHL to be talked about right now. It's in the middle of the playoffs. Round two.
Yeah.
Pops is always trying to get me really to dive
Guys,
into
you be
this
missing
playoffs.
it, bro. Not just the playoffs, but the NHL period.
Period. So let's talk hockey.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
So
You want to talk about the
Avs.
the East,
let's
the
start.
West?
Hold on. Let's start with what we know around here. Who deserves some attention? I'm sorry. There's been a lot of media outlets.
Yeah.
Y'all need to give my boys a little bit more love. Take it from there. Who am I talking about?
We're talking about the Avs, of course.
Thank you.
First, let me make a statement because I was doing some homework here, and there's some Colorado legislature going on where they want to intervene in this dispute with our local cable provider and Altitude. Not Altitude. Who are they? I don't even know because they took them off the air. So they want to. They want to have some discussion about that. We're going to have a visitor here, and that's what Garage Talk is all about. Our little visitors coming up. So I wanted to state on the onset that I'm very angry that.
Let's put a pause real fast.
Go ahead.
Into that.
Yep. We're filming out here.
Okay. All right.
All right,
So,
so-
let's talk hockey.
All right.
There's a lot of good hockey to be discussed. Second round of the playoffs. You've been really getting me to dive into this hockey stuff. I'm really starting to
it's
catch
the
on.
ball.
And you know, my boys are bringing it, but I'm gonna let you take it from there.
All right. So first, let me say, in Colorado, we don't have the opportunity to watch our beloved Colorado Avalanche because of the dispute, the same thing the Dodgers went through years ago with blackouts and such. We cannot watch our Avs. So I understand that there's some lawmakers who are going to intervene in this. I really hope they do because I want to watch next season. That said, I believe that the greatest team on ice, not the show on turf, which I almost said, is by far the Colorado Avalanche. They looked great in their first series. They took out the Blues. The Blues is no joke. The Blues, you can kind of like the Bruins. They're always going to be there. Winnipeg, Ottawa. I shouldn't say Ottawa because they're not even in it right now. Right. But they're just teams like Gonzaga and others that playoff time, right, they're always going to be there. Right. And so this year, Colorado won the President's Club, means they're the best team in the league in terms of win percentage. They took it over the Vegas Knights because of the win-loss. Right. We had a tiebreaker, which I thought was amazing. We haven't won the President's Cup since 2001.
I mean, we won by 3 to 4 goals each game in that series against. Like who you said.
It's no joke. I think I took some notes here in my studies. Very impressive. That whole series, the Avs scored or had shots of 132 shots on net.
So real quick, tell me who do you have next series? Las Vegas, Colorado. I mean, we know the Knights are pretty formidable.
I love Vegas. I'm happy that Vegas now has national prominence in that they have the Vegas Raiders and then now the Vegas.
Who do you have in the series?
Of course, Colorado.
Okay.
I think that this is a great matchup. I think that when I did my homework on the Minnesota Wild versus the Knights, I thought that the Knights are not as dominant as the Avs, and I think the Avs have a lot to prove. Last year we made it to, I think, the second round. We got knocked out by Dallas. And like you said, Mitchell was on this little tour of pissed offness.
So you feel like the Avs are on the same tour?
I agree. I think so. And I think that the Avs are going to America will be well entertained in terms of watching what good hockey looks like. Okay. These guys are skating well. They're playing together as a unit. I like their lines. Man, you start putting Landeskog and McKinnon and Ratchinson and Giles Soderberg, you put these guys together in their penalty kill. I really enjoyed the teams that did the line they put out there for penalty, and I'm really excited about what I've been seeing. In fact, I think they come on tonight. Okay. Game 1 in the second series.
And I also take the Avs in that series. Yeah, I think just from what I've saw, and I watched some of the Knights Minnesota series as well. Yeah. So, and don't get me wrong, I thought the Knights played some really good hockey, especially if you saw that last game. But at the end of the day, we're playing really dominant, good, formidable hockey right now, and so I'm taking us in that series. With that being said,
I don't think it'll be a sweep. I think it would be a 4-2 Colorado.
I think that's respectable because the Knights are no joke. We're not putting us past anybody. We are, but we're not putting the Knights past anybody. Is what I'll say. The Knights are a really good team, so I'll give them that. At the end of the day, though, that's what we have on the hockey side. Kind of switching gears, into something.
Don't say baseball.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
Talk about no baseball.
There's a couple things we've got to do. So let's talk baseball real fast. Alrighty, so. Leading into what we have for the baseball, man, it's going to be rough because right now
Dodgers.
We're dealing with.
We're done. Okay, Dodgers.
Wow. So that's where we start.
National League Dodgers.
Let me just say we're from Denver, so let me just say this. As much as I really don't have any pride in saying this. Rockies were, as of right now, I saw today 20-34, so we're in a losing column. Yeah. We're 4th in the National League West,
and we're getting ready to lose Story.
And so exactly. So that's kind of my thought: is when are we going to decide that we want to keep some players around? When are we going to decide we want to be relevant in the MLB world? That's really a whole big conversation in itself. I'm not going to spend too much time on the Rockies. I love my Rockies.
I love the Rockies.
Nothing but respect. I
love
for them,
the Rockies,
but I really need them from a fan's perspective to put product on the field and keep it on the field that we really need around.
So here's something interesting. We already know this is Broncos country. Broncos reign supreme in Colorado, Denver. So they're number 1. You're going to argue this point. You've heard me make this point before. The Rockies in Denver, by Denver standards, is the number 2 team.
No.
Yes, they are.
No.
They just don't play to that potential, but butts and seats and the joy of the game, Rockies. I love the Avs. I love the Nuggets. Unfortunately, the Rockies are number 2 in our city.
No.
As horrible as they have been for the last...
That's
we
incorrect.
had the run in 2007.
It is Broncos,
Okay.
Nuggets,
No, it's not.
Rockies,
Don't put the Avs
and then the Avs.
No, it's not. I will not put the Avs in the second position, but I will say that it is Broncos, Rockies, Nuggets, Avs, or depends on who you talk to. It might be Broncos, Nuggets, Avs, which I wish it weren't. We're not a hockey state like other states, because we have too many competing venues even between our college and we're not like Michigan in the South.
I
and all that
disagree,
stuff.
but
So you're saying
Nuggets number two. Easily number 2.
In the basketball season, the Nuggets are number 2, but the Nuggets play at the same time hockey's going on, and depending on who you're talking. Okay, I'll make a point. The Nuggets kicked butt last year in the bubble. And Colorado wasn't really like Nuggets. Colorado, look,
The whole world.
you may
fell in
not
love
know
with the
this.
Nuggets
You,
last year.
you may not
I
know
say
this.
Jamal in the
On
bubble.
opening day
Don't get
in the
bubble.
city of Denver is an unproclaimed holiday. Everybody takes off. We ditch work to go downtown and drink because it's opening day. That makes them number 2.
No, sir.
When training camp
hold
for
on,
the Broncos
stop, pause. If you want to call them number 2 for a day, you can call them number
It's
1
not
for a day. Fine. On April, 19th or whatever it is. Yeah,
always like the
Rockies.
4th
It's
or the
about the
10th or
Rockies that
something like
day.
that.
You put on your best Rockies gear. You go down there and you
Wait, don't
drink.
hate.
And you drink.
It's not
You
about
are
the
not,
drinking.
You're
It's
not
about
excited.
the whole
No, you are
atmosphere.
not excited about the season that's forthcoming from the Rockies.
We
That
don't-
is not
we-
what you're
we-
excited about.
I don't think.
I'm
yeah,
being
yeah,
honest.
Yeah, I agree with that. We're not looking at it.
So they're
as
not 2.
It's a start of now we're gonna go to the World Series. It is baseball's back, summer's back in this beautiful state of Colorado, and the Rockies are playing. Give a
Rockies
damn if
are
the
awesome.
Rockies win or lose. That's what makes them in this city number 2. Nobody says, okay, hockey is starting. We're gonna have our self-proclaimed holiday on opening day
let's
for
just put it
Nuggets
like
or
this.
Avs.
Denver fans.
Rockies.
We'll leave the first one to Denver fans. Please comment whatever you like to do. We'll give you the Facebook and the Twitter here soon. We'll have the options for you. But let's start with episode 1.
They can
And
leave a post on YouTube or the
and
podcast.
fans, please tell me your pecking order of Denver Broncos.
No, of the
Denver-
Colorado sports.
Okay, Colorado sports, and we're throwing 5 in there. Please don't say the Rapids, guys, because it's just not gonna work. All right? No hate.
No disrespect,
No hate.
'cause the Rapids are pretty
No
good.
hate. No hate. Trust me, no hate. But let's be real. Like, look around the city. Okay, so those are pretty rare jerseys. But anyways, that aside, give me your pecking order, and please let Pops know, because guys, don't leave me hanging. Don't tell me that the Rockies are number 2. They're not.
They are number 2.
That being said, we're gonna wrap up the show. We've had quite a show, and it's gone on for quite a bit. Before we leave,
we don't need a
number 2
3-hour podcast.
I know, right? It's show number 1. It's our. We've had a good talk.
Yep.
We've had a
See
lot
you.
of fun. The fun's gonna come on. We'll have more in-depth conversations.
See you.
But that's a
love my
conversation on
Bucks.
its own. But at the end of the day, what would you like to leave the people with? I mean, I had great talks. We left you guys with something to come back with us with.
We're fans
What do you want to
who
leave?
love sports
Awesome.
and not just Colorado sports, because we're not blinded to that. We love sports.
Right.
I'll give it up to any team that's playing well. I'm not a big Kansas fan because I'm a Bronco fan, and we own the AFC
Come on,
West.
let's leave the people.
The Bronco has the Super Bowl, the road to Super Bowl has always come through the Mile High City. So we're gonna get back to that dominance. They can sit in our seat, that's the throne, until we get back there. I don't care. I said it because that's who we are. So anyway, we're fans. We love sports. We're passionate about sports. We don't want to be analysts and, those guys, and they do an amazing job. And I get a lot of thrill out of watching the major networks and stuff like that. They're very entertaining. I just want to have fun and laugh and talk about things that are important to us. So,
I agree.
I appreciate you on our inaugural show. What a joy it is for a father to be able to sit with his son who has the passion. I'm just here to crack jokes, but
now he's gonna you seen him already giving hot takes. Yo, Milwaukee out the East.
No.
But
Don't
that's
get me
good
started
stuff.
on Kawhi Leonard.
All right. Anyway, so guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Pops could go on, and Pops will go on after the show, I'm sure.
Yep.
But if there's anything I want to say, is thank you guys.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Show number one. Yeah. Show number one in mini.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Please like. Please subscribe.
Wait till we get to our 100th show.
Right, yeah. And if we had, all the time, we'd continue on. But please tune in so that way I can come on with the journey.
Tell your friends.
There's going to be more and more sports to be coming along.
Yep.
And it's going to get deeper and deeper and better and better. And we'll give you more and more time to give your opinion and your takes as well. Trust me, we'll get that out to you.
So I would imagine we'll be talking about Game 5 for Denver. We'll be talking about the second series of the Avs, and definitely, I really want to start talking more about the Broncos. I'm very excited about this year.
Getting heated up.
2021, COVID's over. Yeah. Well, and that's a good thought. I'm in the military, 26, 27 years in. There is no happy Memorial Day, but take a moment and think about those who made all of this available for us, that we can sit and be with our family.
Tomorrow's Memorial Day.
Yeah. So, and to those who lost a loved one during the pandemic, sincerely, our hearts goes out to you, and our prayers are with your families. I'm in healthcare, and I saw a lot of COVID and how it affected our country. So masking is just about done.
Yeah. Just tune in, guys, and have fun. And we do thank you. And yes, to everyone, we hope we can bring a little bit of joy. But with that being said, we're going to wrap it up, guys. For Raj Talk All Sports, episode number 1. Thank you for tuning in. And we can't wait to see you guys next time. And bring your friends along, please. Thank you.
And we out.
And we out of here.